Well, I want you to step into my 1973 time capsule. My childhood home. My parents have since passed. Brother and my sister, so it's just down to me now, and a couple nieces are left. But me and Soupy's been working hard getting all this cleaned up. It's sad when you got to go through your parents' things, sister's things, and decide what to keep, what to throw away. So we got all that done, and I got this all cleaned up, kind of getting it back to where it was when I was a kid. And this is the way I remember it. And I just remember my mom, she really loved her green shag carpet. She's so proud of that. I remember as a kid, of course, it was off limits. The only time you got in this living room was for Christmas and when the preacher came by. But otherwise, you stayed out. So a lot of people don't like shag these days, but maybe it'll come back in style. Oh, this thing here from 1973, 53 years old, still works. Old 8-track player. Let's see, let me show you here. See if it comes on. There you go.
Somerset's Rock Station 97.1 Double Q. That song about that strange dude.
Still works, and this even has an 8-track recorder on it. That's kind of cool. But after all these years, it's still going strong. Amazing. Mom's old sewing machine, my brother's desk from the 1950s. I'm going to give you a quick tour. Then I'm going to show you. I found the paperwork on this place, what they paid for it. So remember, this place is 24 wide, 60 feet long. Gives you almost 1,500 square feet of living space. Really nice, well-built mobile home for back in the day. Colors are a little bit outdated. You got the gold tub and shower, gold toilet. You don't see those anymore. This is my little childhood room here that I grew up in. And then we got the master. And all this furniture's from '73. I mean, look at it. It looks like new. And check even the sink. For 53 years, not a chip in it. Looks like brand new. And yet another green toilet, green shower. Let me show you some. Then of course here's the master. After my sister moved out, I upgraded to this room later on. And look at the huge closet you get in these things. Like I said, about 1,500 square feet, lots of space. The paneling looks great because my mom, every spring, she'd take Murphy's oil soap and wash all the paneling down, make it shine. She was a great homemaker, my sweet mommy was. But check out this paperwork I came across, going through everything. They purchased this in 1973 for $14,075. And they paid cash for the lot. The lot is 75 by 200. They paid $3,000 for the lot. And the lot next door to us, which is now empty, there's no trailer on it, it recently sold for over $30,000 for the very same lot. It's amazing. But, and also, check it out, the interest rate then was 10%, 10% interest. But imagine, so $14,000 got you a 1,500 square foot home. And then they paid it off in 1985 at the amount of $22,000. So in just 12 short years, their home was bought and paid for. Try doing that today. And that was on a single income. Only my dad worked. My mom never did work. She worked enough trying to keep me straight. And here's what the mobile home looks like out front. This was pictures from 2011 during a snowstorm. Remember, we're 60 foot long, 24 wide. And there's my little shed that I learned a lot in. I took apart engines and lawnmowers and started lawnmowers at 3 o'clock in the morning. My neighbors loved me. Came across an old report card here. There I am, little blonde-headed kid. But just check out these grades. I don't even know what S stands for. Probably sucks. But spelling's F, English F, arithmetic F, social studies F, science D. So you see, me in school didn't get along so well. So, yeah, that was sixth grade. I got past the 7th, and then I quit after 7th grade. I figured that was enough. I'll figure out something else to do besides going to school. Oh, and this paperwork documented like talks about the gold couch. So the gold sofa and the green chairs was $320. The dining room set was $307. Talks about the shag carpet. So pretty wild. Anyway, so here's this original dining table. Still looks great after 53 years. All the chairs, all the Thanksgivings we had here and birthdays and stuff. A lot of good memories, a lot of good memories. One I was thinking about, I can remember so vividly. Sitting at that kitchen table, my mom pulling out the drawer here, trying to find a steak knife, because it's not a steak knife, it's a butter knife. But she'd pull one up, she'd look at it, throw it back in the drawer. Pull another one out, look at it, throw it back in the drawer. Then she finally yelled, "Kevin E., you've ruined every one of my steak knives. I don't have one good steak knife left because you've twisted the ends off every one of them." Because I learned as a kid, steak knives work great for Phillips screws, and butter knives work great for flat screws. Because see how that was bent a little bit? Because that's what I use for flat. I use this as a screwdriver. So that's something I'm keeping. There's a few things I came across I wanted to keep. So that was one thing. So I remember that. Another good memory, I came across this old mixer. I remember it so well. Of course, I was into everything as a kid. If it had a screw in it, it was coming out. So I just took everything apart. And I remember I took this mixer apart, and when I did, I call it my oiling phase. I figured everything needed extra oil. So I took it apart, put good oil all in it, lubed up all the parts, thinking I was doing a good thing. Well, then Mom goes to make her next cake, and then I hear her yelling, "Kevin E., get in here." She's holding this thing up like that, and she's shaking it. "Why is oil dripping out of the back of my mixer?" so I got in trouble for that too. So there's always something. This cool thing I came across. This was my grandma's. This is what she cut her homemade biscuits with. Just some sort of maybe a tomato soup can or something other. Someone punched a little hole for the air, let the air out, and used that to make biscuits with. So hanging on to that. A few things I wanted to keep. I remember a flashback thinking about the oiling phase, the washing machine. I took the washing machine apart, oiled it really well. I remember coming home from school. She had a bill laying here on the counter. She says, "Kevin E., there's your bill." "What do you mean my bill?" I think it was like $35. So she had to call her service repairman to come out and fix the washing machine because I had oiled it, put so much oil inside of it, it slung out, got on the belt, and it started slipping. It wouldn't spin. So he had to come out there and clean it up and get it going. So yeah, I did a lot of silly things like that. Oh, yeah, another silly thing I did, in which this is Mom's sewing machine. Of course, it was off limits to me until she went to bed, and I get in here and take things apart. So really nice sewing machine buried under there. You flip it up. Well, I took the top off, and it fascinated me with all the gears and stuff in there. Sewing machines are mechanically amazing. But what I used to do, well, I had to do this when no one was home, but the bobby pin, the bobbin where you wind it up really, really fast. Well, I would take the thread, and I'd run thread all the way like around the kitchen table, down through the kitchen, around the chair leg in the dining room, take it all the way down the hallway, all the way to the back bathroom as far as I could get it, tie an army man to it. I'd come back in here and turn that thing on and listen to the army man ricochet throughout the whole house, ding, 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 until they came up here and got wound up, because it'd go like 100 miles an hour. That just tickled me to death. I was so easily entertained. And another thing you don't see anymore, this reminded me, come across this patterns. My mom, she used to make her own clothes. And I remember she had this big cardboard thing she'd fold out on the floor and had all these measurements and stuff on it. And she laid the pattern on there and cut her clothes out and make her own clothes. So that's sort of a lost art. You know, see here you can buy your pattern for $1 and just make your own dress or whatever. A lot of lost stuff. People just don't do that any longer. Well, this is cool. This is made by one of my mom's brothers on the Cobbs. They was really well known for making wood crafting. So this is you hold it up and you step on it like that. You can support yourself and get so. It's a handy little thing. Been in the family for years and years. Oh, another story I want to tell you. The first time I got shocked, really good, was with a toaster. You know, it's basically a little toaster. I pulled the toaster out here. You know, you push down the button, you see those red wires get red hot. And I thought, well, those red wires are cool. What is that? So I took a metal butter knife just like this, probably the same one, and I stuck it in there and touched that thing, and it lit me up. I mean, my arm, I was like frozen for a minute, or it felt like a minute. But I could feel those 60 hertz going through me like a machine gun. Finally, I let go, thank goodness. But that's when first time I got a hold of electricity, and I started trying to respect it a little bit better. And to this day, I've been shocked a lot, but never as bad as that first time. Maybe because I was just so small, but it lit me up. So, of course, you know, luckily I've never been electrocuted, because that usually only happens one time, but I've been shocked a lot. Oh, another thing I remember, when because I took everything apart, experimenting, trying to learn how stuff works. I took a Kirby vacuum cleaner apart. You know, Kirby's a big old aluminum heavy-duty things. So I took it apart, thought I was doing good, looked really cool. I put it all back together, but I didn't know when I put it back together, I pinched a wire. So now all that aluminum was now 120 volts. So when Mom would go to use the vacuum, whenever she went over a metal register, sparks would shoot out the bottom of it. Or if she bumped into the washing machine, it'd try to weld itself to the washing machine. So luckily, the Kirby vacuum cleaner had a plastic handle or whatever for fried my sweet mommy. So anyway, she took it to the Kirby store, and of course, he ratted me out, told me what I did. I said, got in here and pinched a wire. So after that, I learned to be careful about wires and how you route them. Don't pinch wires. So that's another crazy story. What else have I got? Oh, back in '73, it was pretty cool. This mobile home came with central air. It had a big package unit tied into the ductwork. And this mobile home was a little bit unique. It's got something called a cold air belly return. You can see this deep opening under here. It's about, maybe 10 or 12 inches. It's like there's like a 12-inch basement below us. You got the subfloor here, but then you got like a 12-inch space, and there's little trusses like every 24 inches maybe. And it's a cold air belly return, so that way you can close all the doors. Every room has its own supply, vent, and a return. So you got your supply here, then you got a return in the closet. You got all the louvers, so you can close the bedroom door, air will flow in, the air will be pulled back out, go under the floor, so that way while the water lines and stuff run is always the same temperature of the house. Everything stays warm, and it stays cool in the winter. Helps maybe keep out the humidity. But that's kind of unique, something I don't think you see anymore. A lot of the new mobile homes you'll see, the bedroom doors will be cut really high at the bottom. You close the door, and they'll have a big notch at the bottom, like 2 inches. So that way it allows the air to return and get back to the furnace. And when we first bought this, it had a fuel oil furnace, and I've since put in a 3-ton split unit. So that does a nice job. Of course, growing up on fuel oil heat was nice, because when the air came out of the furnace like 120 degrees. So I missed that when I moved out and got into a house with a heat pump. I about froze to death. So fuel oil furnaces, I know, are something you don't see anymore, but man, it was some great heat. Oh, and I came across this. This is the shag carpet I grew up with. I found this in the closet vent where they'd cut it out, but that's 53-year-old blue shag. That's what this was in this room many years ago. And my little shed, she's not doing so good. She's looking rough after all these years, but still standing. Another flashback. Okay, look over here. See those power lines back there? So I couldn't afford fireworks, so I'd make my own fireworks. So I'd take aluminum tent poles and throw them up in the power lines till they would short out and they'd explode. It was great. All kinds of cool sparks. And because I remember vividly doing that, and my sister coming outside yelling at me, "You stop that, you're freaking out the TV," because the voltage was fluctuating and stuff. So more stupid stuff. Oh yeah, another thing about that shed where I nearly died a couple of times. One, but nearly died in heat stroke one time. I got really hot, about passed out. I started freezing and had to come inside, get under the covers, and it was a really weird experience. Then another time, there was a fire in the shed. So I was playing with matches, doing something stupid, had a fire, and at the same time, I had let me show you. I'll do something different. Okay, I wanted to show you this view, get a bit better explained. So I was inside this shed. Over here, the doors were open. I had a milk jug full of gasoline sitting here in a corner. At the same time, we had kittens in here. So I was trying to get out of the shed, but I was thinking about those kittens. I didn't want them to burn up. So being a dumb kid as I was, I kicked the milk jug full of gasoline to get it out into the yard. When I kicked it, the lid blew off, blew gas up the back of my leg. Of course, the fire chased my leg, burnt my leg pretty good. So that's another near-death experience I had, but I survived that one too. Okay, I'm back in my little original small bedroom that I started out here at 7 years old, but see these burn marks here? Well, that was me. That was my Benjamin Franklin days when I was trying to experiment with electricity. So what I would do, I'd plug something in like this. I'd leave it out just enough where I could drop a paper clip in it. When that paper clip would short out, it'd explode. My little mini fireworks. I thought that was really cool. It's a wonder I survived it all, the stupid stuff I did. Just amazing. Oh, and another thing for entertainment, I had darts. I had no dartboard for some reason, but I just had darts. And so to throw something into, I got the bright idea, well, I'll just use the ceiling as my dartboard. So I'd lay down on the bed, look straight up, and throw darts into the ceiling. You still see a few of the holes. And where is it at? It's hard to see with the camera. Yeah, there's one of them. There's a couple of them still around. There's another one. I threw darts up in there, not thinking, but yeah, I remember Mom seeing it a few days later. "Kennedy, Why are there holes in my ceiling? Yeah, she knew it was me doing more stupid stuff. Oh, and I remember another tale or in the wintertime, the water supply froze up. We had no water in this bathroom because this being a modular home, it's it comes delivered in two pieces and they put it together. And because you can see where the seam is right here along the hallway. Well, right in this area under here, there's an opening where the pipes were exposed. So Dad sent me under there with an extension cord and Mom's clothes iron. He told me to hold that against those pipes and to thaw it out. Sure, I thought he was crazy, but sure enough, it worked. The water started flowing. So my dad knew some stuff. He taught me a lot. And I think about what a cool homemaker my mom was. She was pretty cool about keeping this place looking good. I found this can of paint. This was what she used to paint the silver. And she was really good with that shelf liner. She put shelf liner on things, get things spruced up, looking good. If anything got rusty, like probably a lot of rust in there, she covered it all up. Made it look nice. Ah, sweet mommy. Miss her so, miss her so. And another crazy story I had. This I bought, so I was 15 years old, bought a 1969 Honda CB350 motorcycle. Got it from my buddy Barry Beatty. In the wintertime, I was, whatever, I can't remember. Maybe I started painting. I stripped it down to everything. Took the engine off the frame, wheels, fenders, everything was apart. But it got cold, so I was painting it outside. I had to bring everything inside to assemble it. So I brought it in my room, and I was putting together in this room a full motorcycle, step by step. Well, one thing I didn't get around to doing was painting the fender. I couldn't paint it outside because it was cold. So I vividly remember I had, at the time, was gold shag carpet, and I laid down the chrome fender on the carpet, and not giving it a thought, I took me some black spray paint, so I started painting that fender, thinking I could miss the carpet. Of course, I get done painting the fender, I lift the fender up, and there's this big horseshoe of black paint on top of the gold carpet. Yeah, I got in trouble for that too. And then, because after I got the motorcycle put all together, then I couldn't get it, cause I couldn't make the turn going up the hallway. So then I had to take the handlebars off and stuff, and I was able to amazingly get a full-size 350 Honda motorcycle out down the hallway and back outside. So, yeah, another crazy story. One last story. Another one I want to tell you is I can remember here. I had a cold and sitting here or standing here taking NyQuil. I was drinking, had a full shot of NyQuil, standing here at the sink. Right when I had a mouthful, at that time, I had to cough and I couldn't stop it. I tried to pinch my lips and just and I just blew green NyQuil all over my mama's drapes. And I got in trouble for that too. So I was in trouble a lot, as you can see. Oh, I got another story for you. The very first day we moved in, 1973, Dad's unloading the U-Haul. Because we come from Ohio, didn't really have any hills where we lived in Ohio. And right down the street here, I mean, just a short ways, there's a really steep hill. So I took off on my bicycle, went over that hill, and I got to the bottom, and I wiped out. I went over the handlebars. I slid like first base. My hands were bleeding, my elbows, my knees, everything was bleeding. I dislocated my jaw, split my chin wide open, had to have stitches. So all that happened. So I finally cried myself all the way back to the house. I'm walking and crying. I'm walking up the driveway. Dad's with the U-Haul. I remember just so vivid. He's standing in the back of the U-Haul. I'm walking up the driveway, crying my eyes out, looking for some sympathy, of course. But he looks at me and he says, "Son, what the hell have you done now?" No, he said, "What the hell have you done now, son?" Exactly what he said. I remember those, I had blood coming from head to toe. Then he has to stop everything, take me to the emergency room, get me stitched up, and all that crazy stuff. My jaw was dislocated for a while for it to pop back in. So, yeah, another crazy tale. One of them, I survived it all. Oh, another thing, you come across a lot of stuff when you're emptying out a house. And there's a couple things I just couldn't bear to get rid of. One thing is these pitchers here. I grew up on tea. No Coke, no Pepsi, nothing like that was ever in the house. But I probably drank 10,000 gallons of tea out of these pitchers Mom would make consistently. A couple things I had to keep. Walking by this tapestry, I think it's what that thing's called. As a kid, I'd lay in the bed and I'd swear in the dark I'd see those lambs. I'd swear they'd move and it'd freak me out. I remember I'd swear there's like they'd move their head and eat and moving around the grass. I don't know why that was, but that just flashed back as a memory. Like I said, I had a Christian mama. Christian TV was always on, Christian radio. Had a good childhood. I was blessed for sure, having good parents. There was never a can of beer in this place. So, Not that my mom knew about it anyway, and it wasn't from me. I'm sure, yeah, my sister, I'm sure, had plenty of beer in here, but that was after my mama was gone. But I guess I'll wrap this up. Just wanted to share a little bit of 1973 history and what you could own back then. It's these days you just can't pull that off. You know, you got to have two incomes. Even with lower interest rates, still it's the price of housing is just through the roof. But this place has held up well. Just shows you if you take care of a place, how well it can do for you after 53 years. Quite amazing. Well, thank you very much for watching. Have yourself a blessed day. See you later. Bye-bye.